What's going on, everybody? Top 10 Pokemon back, bringing you another top Pokemon card auctions of the week recap. Folks, it's been an amazing week for Pokemon auctions, as it always is. I have a ton of modern and vintage to go through. A lot of booster boxes came by, a lot of WotC booster boxes. We saw a few cards from the newest set, Scarlet and Violet, come by in their graded forms. So we're going to take a look at all of those and more. Stay tuned till the very end. You're not going to want to miss today's episode. Community, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it more than you know. Please consider using my eBay affiliate link. If you do any shopping on eBay, it gives the channel a small kickback, helps me out tremendously, so thank you so much in advance for doing that. You know, it's actually kind of funny. I have like 2 to 3 times as many auctions that I save throughout the week, and I always narrow it down significantly to try to make the video shorter, to try to really point out the pertinent auctions, but I really cycle through a lot of auctions to try to find the best ones for you. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let's get started off with some Scarlet and Violet graded cards in this PSA 10 Japanese Miriam card. Sold this week for $1,050. And then we saw a BGS 9.5 English Full Art Miriam card that sold for $650. Here we saw the English Gardevoir EX in PSA 10 that sold this week for $276. We saw a few black labels come by this week. Here is a black label Magikarp from the Triple Beat set. We saw this card last week. This week it sold as the BGS 10 black label for $610, and then again for $760. So what have the graded cards from Crown Zenith been up to? Let's take a look at a few of them. Here is a PSA 10 Radiant Charizard that sold this week for only $51. Here is a PSA 10 Palkia V-Star. This is the Gold Secret Rare card, sold for $147.50. Here is a Gold Secret Rare Arceus V-Star in PSA 10 that sold for $157. Here is a Full Art Secret Rare Pikachu, sold for $60 this week. And then we saw this Full Art Mew that sold for $54.78. And arguably one of the most valuable cards from the set, the Mewtwo V-Star, sold this week as a PSA 10 for $190. Up next is a lot of 4 of the promo cards from Evolving Skies. I guess they'd be considered like Evolving Skies-ish. You have the Flareon, Vaporeon, and Jolteon VMAX cards, along with the Jolteon V card, all in PSA 10, sold for a grand total of $292 this week. Up next, we saw a black label Glaceon VMAX, sold for $1,625. We saw a black label Charizard V from Champion's Path. This is a secret rare card that sold for $2,685. And then here is the black label Charizard GX from Hidden Fates that sold for $3,658. Here we saw a Vivid Voltage pre-release Charizard staff card in PSA 10 that sold for $1,225. And then we saw this Evolutions Charizard yet again in PSA 10. Last week, I think it sold for closer to like $1,200. So we were a little bit concerned about that. This week, it came up a little bit, selling for $1,550. Here is a CGC 10 Perfect Zard from Celebration set, sold for $1,330. And then we saw this PSA 10 Metal Charizard yet again come by from the Ultra Premium Collection box of Celebrations. This week it sold for $3,926. All right, getting into the vintage portion, we saw a couple of Topps Chrome Sparkle cards come by. These are very low pop PSA 10 cards. Here is a PSA 10 Pidgey that sold for $242. Here is a Sandslash that sold for $271. Here is a PSA 10 Machoke, sold for $255. And then a PSA 10 Mankey that sold for $293. Up next, we saw an unlimited base set Blastoise that sold for $2,125. And then another PSA 10 unlimited base set Charizard that sold for $9,775. Here we have a CGC 10 Pristine Erica's Venusaur from Gym Challenge. This is the unlimited version that sold for $516. This is a Pop 1 card in the CGC Pop Report. So pretty strong. This is a very difficult card to get into PSA 10, whether it's unlimited or first edition. Here we have a few of the first edition base set holo cards in PSA 10. Here's a Poliwrath, sold for $5,600, while the Clefairy here sold for $7,056. And then we saw a first edition Mewtwo sell for $16,300. Up next from Gym Heroes, we saw a Rockets Scyther. an unlimited holographic Rocket Scyther in PSA 10 that sold for $598, and then a CGC 10 copy of this card sold for $460. From Neo Revelation set, we saw an unlimited Porygon 2 holo that sold for $369. And we also saw this unlimited Light Dragonite holo from Neo Destiny sell for $510. And then this unlimited Miracle Energy holo card sold for $131. So it seems like ain't nobody got love for the holographic WotC cards in PSA 10. Up next, a couple of E-Series cards. Here's a holographic Venusaur from Expedition that sold for $482. And then we saw this beautiful Moltres from Skyridge that sold for $1,579. Also from Skyridge, we saw this Crystal Ho-Oh in PSA 10 that sold for $4,138. And the Crystal Charizard also came by and it sold for $11,421. Getting into the EX era, here is a Charizard from EX Dragon that sold for $2,400 this week. And then we saw a few amazing Rayquaza cards that came by. Any Rayquaza fans out there, you're going to like this. Here's a Rayquaza EX, also from EX Dragon, in PSA 10 that sold for $1,575. Here's another Rayquaza EX. This is the Black Star promo that sold as a PSA 10 for $2,025. And then we saw a PSA 7 Gold Star Rayquaza from EX Deoxys that sold for $4,193. All right, let's get into some vintage booster box sales. Here is a black and white base set box, factory sealed, that sold for an even $2,000 this week. And then we saw an unlimited fossil booster box that sold for $7,070, while the first edition fossil box sold for $11,100. Here is an unlimited Gym Heroes booster box sold for $7,270, and an unlimited Neo Revelation box sold for $13,433 big ones. The unlimited base set boxes did not do too bad this week, folks. Here is one on PWCC that sold for $14,400, and then one on Heritage that sold for $16,250. And then here's another one. This one is on PWCC. It is most likely shadowless, I guess you could say. It's the Green Wing Charizard on the box with only one country code, but it has short crimp packs. So I think what you really want to see are the long crimp packs for it to like be extra shadowless potential. But anyway, this box sold for $43,200. On to some more auctions from PWCC. Here is a PSA 9 Gold Star Torchic that sold for $3,120. Here we have a PSA 10 Japanese promo Alola Friends that sold for $4,080. And then here is a PSA 10 first edition Shining Tyranitar that also sold for $4,080. Here we saw a PSA 9 Japanese Gold Star Flareon 30,000 point promo card that sold for $4,680. And here is a PSA 9 Gold Star Charizard that sold for $4,920. Up next is my favorite Shining card of all time, the first edition Shining Gyarados in PSA 10 that sold for $5,520. And then here we saw another Gold Star Torchic. This is the Japanese PSA 10 copy. First edition sold for $6,900. And then here we saw a PSA 9 Japanese Design Contest promo card of Arceus that sold for $9,600. A couple of graded first edition base set packs. Here is a PSA 9 first edition Charizard booster pack that sold for $3,480. And then we saw the first edition Venusaur booster pack sell for $3,720. Up next, we have just a couple of interesting auctions from Golden Auctions. Here is a PSA 10 first edition Metal Energy from Neo Genesis. Super low pop card, sold for $900. We saw this Lucky Stadium Black Star promo card featuring Charizard with Pikachu and Pichu in PSA 10 that sold for $1,320. Here is an amazing Entei holo from Call of Legends that sold as a PSA 10 for $1,604. And then we saw yet again a holographic Skyridge Umbreon in PSA 10 that sold for $3,360. And our final auction in this week's recap is a PSA 8 no rarity symbol Japanese base set Charizard that sold for $10,560 on Golden Auctions. And that concludes our auction recap, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Like I said, please give the video a like. Please be a subscriber. That's all I got for you. I'll catch you all in my next one.